One of the handout with the Pythagorean theorem, the other handout solving equations on both sides. Right? Okay. So I don't have a time to check your work, but what I want to hear from you guys on the homework, which question is troubling? Which question is difficult? On the Pythagorean theorem questions, which question is difficult? Okay, Shreya, you can tell me which one of the questions are difficult. Sharon, which one of the questions are difficult on Pythagorean theorem?
They were all pretty easy.
And you didn't do it.
I did some of it.
If you did some of it, how do you know all of them are easy?
The ones I did were easy.
All right, so there's a question about 10. In a game of baseball, the distance from one base to the next is 90 feet, and then shown in the diagram below, determine the distance from home plate to the second plate. So home plate is here, second base is here. So we need to find this distance. What we know is, we know each corner making 90-degree angle. And then we also know each side is actually 90 degree. So in a right angle triangle, we should be able to use the Pythagorean theorem to find out the hypotenuse. Because right now, this is your hypotenuse. I don't know, let's call the distance, right? This is the D. So what I know about it, the D squared supposed to be, this is 90, we know, 90 squared plus 90 squared, isn't it? Make sense?
You're not sharing your...
Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Oh, what's happening? This is done. Oh, yeah, right, sorry. Okay. So the question is asked, guys, to find out. So let me go back here. So you got a baseball diamond. The question is asked to find out on the baseball diamond the distance from the home plate to the second base. So which is basically, if I connect it diagonally, it will create a right angle triangle. So we can label it ABC. So what I will do from the diagram, I'm going to re-roll my ABC. The question simply asks to find out the distance of AC, right? And we know this is 90 degrees. And we also know this is 90 feet. We also know 90 feet. So the question here is, what is AC in terms of the right angle triangle? And you all know AC is in terms of the right angle triangle. Nishal, how do we call the AC in terms of the right angle triangle? How do I call the AC? What's the name for the AC? Okay, Vishali, what is the name for AC in terms of the right angle triangle? Vishali. I'm not sure who's that. Vishali, Raji, I'm confused. So who is whom? So who is Raji and who is Raji Gunar? Hello. All right, these guys are all right. Okay, guys, if you want to come to the online lesson, then if you don't have the access of reliable internet, then it's going to be a big issue. Right, you need to be connected. All right, so I'm going to go back to, can anyone else online tell me what is the AC called?
I know.
How did you call it, sir?
Hypotenuse.
Yes, hypotenuse. So this is known as the hypotenuse. Now we know the Greek guy talk about Pythagorean theorem and to find out the hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is given by, so if I call this D, the D squared is equal to square of those two distance. So which is 4,900. You can use a calculator. Your teacher allowed to use a calculator, D squared. So D squared is equal to 4,900 plus 4,900 if you can add it. So 4,900 plus 4,900, 0, 0, 9 plus 9 is 8, 1 brought up here, 4 plus 1, 9,800. Now we need to find a D. So Akshara online, how would you find the D? And then before that, I'm not sure who this person is. Let me talk to the person. Oh, Tuwan. Okay, Tawan. How are you doing, Tawan?
Good.
What's going on in your school in math, sir?
We're just like learning about like mean, median, and mode and all that.
Okay,
stuff.
data management. Okay, and then when is your midterm report card coming?
November, I think sometime next week.
So how are you doing on math? What is your math mark on midterm?
Our teacher said she would round it up and talk to us on tomorrow. So
All right, no one want to tell the math mark. Okay, I will find out from your parents. So how would I find out D if I know D squared is 9800? Times that we talk about it last class. When you have a D squared is 9800. Yes. And no, let's going back to Shreya. Shreya, how do I find out the value of D?
Square root it.
You have to do square root. So you need to use a calculator. Obviously, there's no magical way to find it out. You have to use the calculator to find the answer. So if you use the calculator to find the answer, we're really good in mental math. So before you guys get the answer, I'm going to tell what will be the answer is approximately. So I'm pretty good on my mental math. Can you just confirm whether it is around 126? Guys, can you use your calculator to find, do you have a calculator? Okay, take it out and then find out what the square root of 9800 is. That's your mobile device or calculator? Don't you have a calculator? What did you do at school? They gave a calculator, okay. What is square root of 9800? 1? You got 120? Square root of 9800 is 120. What do you get? The square root button is not working. It's a China phone. Okay. What do you have? Apple phone? Okay, that's okay. Guys, I'm just asking you guys how to find that square root of 9800. Can anyone tell me the answer?
I got 126.
That's right. So I did my mental math. So 126 feet. All right. So that's a good question. So application of Pythagorean theorem. And then how about the rest? You guys don't have any questions with the Pythagorean theorem? Hello, hello, hello. Don't you guys have any questions in the Pythagorean theorem?
No.
But you guys didn't do the homework. That's a problem. There's a lot of questions you don't know how to answer it. All right, guys. I'm gonna work through those questions. Let's see how would you guys answer. Take your notes. So let's going back to some important application. So when it's come to Pythagorean theorem, we should be able to find out some of the perimeter and area of composite shapes. You all learn how to find the area and perimeter of different shapes in grade 8. You learn about how to find a square. You know how to find the area and perimeter of rectangle. You know how to find the area and perimeter of parallelogram. You know how to find the area and perimeter of trapezoid. You know how to find the area and perimeter of a triangle, which you have learned. You also learn how to find the area and perimeter of circle. If you didn't learn it, you go to your elementary school math teacher and ask them, how come you didn't teach it? Ask them to return my tax-based money back. So you all learn the formula. But let's going back to the type of question we're going to be working on. Determine the perimeter of each figure. So a perimeter is basically distance around the shape, right? So Tavan, how do I find a distance around the shape? What should I need to do to find a distance around that shape?
For B or C?
I'm talking about C.
Would you get the area of the triangle?
So I'm talking about a perimeter. I'm not talking about area. Determine the perimeter first. So area later. How would I find the perimeter of the shape?
You would add up the sides.
Okay.
You would first find you would get the diameter of the circle, and after you would.
Oh, how would you find the diameter of the circle?
Would you add 4.5 and 6.2?
You add 4.5 and 6.2 to get the diameter of the circle. What's the reasoning? Why do you need to add 4.5 and 6.2 to get the diameter of the circle? So you know the diameter of the circle is the whole distance, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by adding 4.5 and 6.2, you should be able to get the distance. That is what you try to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to come back to that discussion, sir. So going back to Vishali online. How would you find a distance CB? Because he said we need the diameter of the circle. How would you find a distance CB?
I would use the Pythagorean theorem.
Oh, you use Pythagorean theorem. So Tama, you can't really add it. There's no such a rule to find a hypotenuse of a right angle triangle. You need to add the two sides. There's no such a rule exists, right? So the only way we can find out, we need to find out the diameter. What is the formula, lady, to find out the circumference of a circle? Because what we really need to find out when they're talking about a perimeter, we need to find out this distance plus the curvy distance. So there's a curvy here, and plus that distance. We don't find our dotted line. That's not part of the circle. Perimeter. Imagine that I want to fence my backyard and the shape, right? So we know this is 4.5. We know this is 6.2, but I need to find a curvy distance. How would you find a curvy distance of a circle from grade 8? What did you learn? Sorry? Louder. It's okay to make mistakes, not a problem. Pi r squared is correct. That's an area. So if you have a circle with a radius r, to find the whole distance, we call circumference, we use 2 pi r. But I don't have a whole circle. I only have half the circle. So we call semicircle. We find out 2 pi r divided by 2, which is going to be pi times r. But we don't know the radius. We don't know the radius of the circle. We don't know the distance. But we know the whole distance is known as the diameter, right? The distance across the circle from one edge to another edge going through the center. So we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance. So we know distance squared is equal to square root of distance squared is equal to 4.5 squared plus 6.2 squared, isn't it? So then from there, we can find the d. So 4.5 squared plus 6.2 squared, somebody can tell it. So I'm going to be asked, Shreya, can you tell me what is 4.5 squared plus 6.2 squared on your calculator?
$58.69.
58.69. Okay, so she said 58.69. I don't know that. If anyone have questions, you can ask, you can double check. D is equal to square root of 58.69. Your calculator is frozen. Okay, let's going back to my folks online. Nishal, are you exist on the other side, Nishal?
Yeah,
Can you find out what is square root of 58.69 using a calculator?
okay.
Shouldn't take that long. It should be a piece of cake. Okay, Shiron, what did you get, sir?
7.6 repeat, or it's like 7.66.
7.66.
66.
7.6. So we're gonna say 7.7. For this one, you guys can't take a 30-second to do that, guys. You need to get it done like that. So otherwise, you're not ready for your grade 9 math. This is pretty straightforward, D. So we know the diameter is 7.7. Therefore, radius is equal to, so let's going back to again, Nishal, how would you find the radius if you know the diameter?
You divide it by 2.
Okay, if you divide 7.7 divided by 2, what do you get in the calculator?
$3.85.
Sorry, 3.85. Okay, 3.85 millimeters. So now what we can do, we can going back to find this distance, a semicircle, pi times r. So 3.85 times it by r, which is pi. You're going to use a pi. So now the total perimeter is going to be 4.5. So we're going to write an equation. Guys, you guys need to work hard. I'm just telling the story that I have 2 grade 12 advanced function class. Half the class is not fit to take it, and then they fail the class. That half the class drop out of 50 because they didn't know how to do this. They're supposed to learn in grade 9. They didn't master it. You guys will. Okay, I went to University of Toronto with my grade 9 kids. So here's a story about GTA's kids living in Greater Toronto area. I have 2 students. They are student teachers. They supporting the professors. So I have a chat with them. Listen. I have a chat with them. I asked them, did you guys go to school in Toronto? They say, no, we're not from GTA. So where are you guys from? I'm from Barrie, the other one from London, Ontario. They say fourth year, there's only 7 people and doing math as a major. 7 people. And there's not a single student from GTA. Then I asked my kids at school, did you know anyone doing math as a major in the university? They said, no. How about for the past 2 years? No. Because people are not putting the time and effort to master the math skills. And then that is where the big money's sitting in. You need to work hard. You guys need to work hard. All right. So 3.85 times it by pi. Okay, can you all do the answer? Can you guys all simplify that? I'm gonna be asked the question. I'm just gonna call my friend in a moment. All right, what's going on? So this time I'm gonna be going back to picking up people. Taban, what did you get, sir? 4.5 plus 6.2 plus 3.85 times it by pi. What did you get, sir?
I'm still doing it.
Okay. Do you have a calculator in front of you?
Yeah.
So how come it's taking that too long? It's a 30 seconds task.
Oh no, but I messed up, so I'm redoing
You
it.
messed up your calculation. Okay, Vishali online. What did you get? Vishali online.
I got 29.95.
29.95. Shreya, is that the right answer?
I got 22.79.
All right, I'm going to do my mental math. So 4.5 plus 6.2 is almost going to be 10.7. 10.7 plus 3.85 times pi. Pi is around 3.14. If you multiply that, you can just say 3.8 and 4 times 3 is going to be 12. So 12 plus this is around 6.5 plus 10.7. So I'm expecting the answer is around 23. What did you get, Shreya?
22.79.
That is right answer. So we can say approximately 22.8 millimeters. So Vishali, where did you go wrong? Did you do 4.5 plus 6.2? If you guys want to learn, I will do the mental math, 10.7. And then you need to do 3.85. 3.85 times it by 3.14. Let me do my estimate. 3.85 around 4. 3.14 around 3. It's 12. So if I add 12 plus 10.7, it's around 22. So Shreya got it right. So where did you go wrong, Vishali?
I think I did I think I did something with the radius. I don't really know.
Do you put 3.85?
Yeah, I did 3.85
Times it by pi. Did you times it by pi?
Yeah, but when I times it by pi, I got like 19.25. That's
You
why.
didn't, that cannot be possible. 3.85. I'm not sure you're using the right pi button. 3.85 times it by pi shouldn't be 19 pound. Anyhow, so let's moving back to the question. There are a lot of questions here. You guys need to master it. So I'm just going back to some difficult questions here. I'm not sure anyone is asking for any help. All right. Did you know that the area relationship in Pythagorean theorem holds true for shapes other than squares? For example, show that the sum of the two smallest semicircles add up to the area of the hypotenuse semicircle in the diagram below. So this is a beautiful question. What they asked to prove it, they want you to prove the area of the two semicircles add up together will give you the area of the last circle. But the question is, they asked to prove, show that the sum of the two smallest semicircle add up to the area of the hypotenuse semicircle in the diagram below. Now, moving back to Chiron, how would you prove it, sir, without doing the calculation? Okay, can you guys find the area of the semicircles? The area of the semicircle is going to be given by, guys, pi times r squared divided by 2. You're going to find the area of the semicircle. I want everyone to find the area of each circle. You're going to tell the answer. The formula is pi times r squared divided by 2. For r, you can substitute 3.14 if your calculator or you don't know how to substitute for r. For r, you can substitute 3.14. Find out the area of the different circle. The formula is pi r squared divided by 2. Yes. All right. So going back to, let's ask, right, Nishal. What did you get, Nishal, for the circle with the 5?
I got 9.81.
I'm going to assume you really have a bad elementary school math teacher who probably hate math. Am I right? Huh? You definitely had a really, really bad math teacher. Nisha,
Yeah.
you have a terrible math teacher in elementary school. right? Nothing has been done. All right, I'm gonna going back to now Shreya. Shreya, what did you get for the 5?
39.25 meters.
39 point how much?
39.25.
39.25. Okay, so you got 39.25. That's kind of interesting. So let me double check. Is that right? Okay, I'm confusing myself. So let's go back to Nishal. Nishal, what do you have?
I got 9.81.
A1. All right. And then what do you got, Shreya?
39.25.
Okay. I think that actually, Nishal, you probably have a good teacher. You figure that out correctly. That's correct. So this is correct. And then I'm not sure where's the 39.25 coming from. How did you get 39.25?
I did 3.4 times 5 squared divided by 2.
Don't you realize that's a radius? That's a diameter. Sorry. Don't you realize there's a diameter? Huh? So how would you substitute 5 in there? Don't you see that is the diameter of the circle? Don't you need to substitute pi times 5 squared divided by 2? I mean, 5 times 2.5 squared divided by 2. So we just 9.81. All right, let's going back to Taban. Taban, what did you get here, sir?
I got,
Taban,
I got
what?
for 13.
Yeah.
Oh, for 13, I got 10.2.
Vishali online. What do you get for 13?
I got 66.33.
That is right, 66.33. So I'm not sure what's going on at Taban. Pi time, the radius is 13 divided by 2, sir, because that's a diameter, 6.5, right? So this is 66.33. All right, Shreya, can you tell? Oh no, I'm gonna go back to lady. What did you get for the last one, lady? 56.52. Pretty good. Yes, that's correct. Now, if you guys see that, if I add 9.81 plus 56.52, so let's do that. So 9.81. Actually, that's give me 66.33. So this is proving that Pythagorean theorem is not only applied to the shapes like square, it's also applied to any shape, isn't it? But the question here is why? Why? Why this is true? We work it out, but why this is true? All right, I think this is just why this is true is going beyond to talk about. I don't want to just okay. So let's going back to these questions, guys. If I going back to the question, let me summarize this. So the emerging questions are skill building. So this is kind of level 1, kind of level 2 questions. Things I am doing is right now, the 14, 15 are level 4 questions. So in the Ontario Math curriculum, so level 4 is basically you got an 80 and above. You're working towards 80 and above. This one is usually level 3 type of question, right? So sometime my level 4 questions, when I take it up, it might be difficult. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Try to see if you can grasp it. Otherwise, I don't think your teacher will throw such a questions on your test to challenge you. So these are like going further on Pythagorean theorem. All right, guys. Any questions right now on Pythagorean theorem? I did some good questions. There are really good questions there, but I'm not going to do it unless you guys ask. Any other questions you guys practice? You didn't know how to do it? No?
No.
All right. Now, I do have a worksheet I gave it solving 2-step equations. And then I'm going to quickly go and grab something. And then you guys can be ready with asking questions on solving two-step equation. I'll be back. Two-step equation, then we're gonna go back to a new lesson.
Are we taking it off?
Yes, any questions on two-step equations? I can take it out. All right, let's go into solving equations. All right, solving equations. Any questions from solving equations? Two-step equations, any questions? No questions on solving equations? You said you didn't know how to do some of the questions. Which question, lady? Huh? You said B?
6B.
6E.
Never mind, I know how to do it.
How do you know what happened? Suddenly you know how to do it. So two-step equation, we need to move the variable. So there's a easy way to do this. Because it's plus 16.8, if I move the other side, it's going to be minus, isn't it? Make sense? Are you following that? And then we move that 25 to the other side. So negative 13.6 minus 25.5. Okay, guys. If you're not doing the homework and be prepared to ask me questions, you're not really using my time and your time, right? And then you're not in grade 1 like my son to write it down on the agenda. Here's a homework question, you need to do it. And then guess what? You all have a time. You all have a time. If you don't have a time, if you have a mobile devices, throw that mobile devices away. Tell your parents. I told them, throwing the mobile device away give you more time. If you have a game console, put it on Kijiji. I will buy it. You all have a time, and there's no excuse. And then you're not doing the work. If you're not doing the work, then how would you master it? That's I say. Our GTA students are not doing math major. Shame. Do you know why the people from Barrie, Ontario, London, Ontario is into math and physics? Because their parents are farmers. They own a big farmland. They work on the farmland. They see a math on a day-to-day basis on a transaction, how to optimize their profit, and what they can do to get a better yield. They see it every day. And then they apply it. And then I didn't have a surprise. They say, yes, you guys see math in every day. And then I met a professor. See, my parents are just, one of them on a big farmland and the one poultry business. I was surprised how he get the math skills. He worked on the farm in summertime when he was a high school student. He exploring things. All right, we need to move on. So if you don't have a question, all I'm going to tell your parents, you know what, you didn't do the homework. I'm not spending time on taking it up. All right, there are a few questions, good questions. If you guys not reading it, yes. You didn't do what? Okay, so consider the diagram below, determine the value of X. So how would I able to find the value of X? So what's happening here? I should be able to graph it. Okay. When you have a line crossing each other, we call this opposite angle are equal. That's being said, 40x minus 25 must be equal to 10x plus 11. Then you know what to do. You can move that to the other side. So 14x minus 10x. and you're going to move the 25 to the other side. 11 plus 25. That gives you 4x is equal to 36. X is equal to 36 divided by 4, isn't it? Which is going to be 9. So if you know the 9, then you should be able to find this angle, and then another property that says these two angles add up together 180 degree. So if you know this angle, because we know this is 9 degrees, so 14 times 9, 126 minus 25, so that is 101 degree. So if you know the 101 degree, pretty straightforward math, that should be 79 degree. All right, guys. So my unit is to teach you about working with geometry. So I'm going to move on to my geometry lesson today. So that's moving back to my geometry lesson that I want to run through. All right. So we're going to revisit equations and relations again. So we're going to moving back to triangle and circle geometry, and then I will come back to the triangle and circle geometry. So what I need to do is triangle and circle geometry. Well, triangle and circle geometry is interesting. So let me finish that volume relationship. Okay. So I need to going back to the triangle and circle geometry. So we're going to going back to some interesting properties of the triangle and circle. I'm not sure whether you guys have learned that at school. So let me going back to November 6th lesson. Okay, insert, print out. All right. All right, so we're gonna going back to triangle geometry. So for you, I'm gonna print it. So I'm gonna print that page. So print, and then also the practice and angle triangle. So that comes in. You guys gonna see some properties on triangle. You guys have learned isosceles triangle in grade 8. What does isosceles triangle basically mean? Isosceles triangle mean any two sides of the triangle is equal. So what we do is to denote in a triangle. If I put this little 2 mark, that's basically telling those two sides are equal. So in this case, they asked me to find the x. Pretty obvious, because those 2 marks saying those two sides are equal, x is 15, isn't it? Now, are you following that? My folks there? Hello?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Then comes to isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, the angles opposite of the equal sides are equal. Angle opposite of the equal sides. So what does that mean? If you see on the diagram, if this is x, this is also x, right? Now we need to find the x. Well, you see that there's a math going on, but let's going back to what they're doing it. If I add all the angles inside a triangle, we call it interior angle, Akshara, what would you get? If I add all the angles inside a triangle, what would you get? 180 degree. So I can rewrite x plus 100 is equal to how much? 180 degree. Now this is solving two-step equation. X plus x is 2x. Well, why did I do that? X plus x is 2x. So 2x is equal plus 100 minus 100 is 180 minus 100. 2x is equal to 80. So x is equal to, I'm going to divide it by 2. So let's do that with the right step. 2x divided by 2, 80 divided by 2, x is equal to 40. Do you guys see that property? Now, again, another property. The x is right now not part of the equal angle. When they say these two are equal, we know the opposite angle must be equal. That must be 70. So what do we know about it? Sum of the interior angle in a triangle add up to 180. So this case, 70 plus x must be 180. So therefore, x is equal to 180 minus 70 minus 70. So because, we can write 180 minus 140. Let's give you 40 degree. Everyone see the picture? Guys, are you following that?
Yes.
All right. Now, an interesting property about a semicircle, if you have a circle, all right, if you take the edges of the diameter and then connect to one point on the circle. So if you take the edges of the diameter, connect to the another point on the circle, they say the angle x must be 90 degrees. This is the semicircle angle property, always. Now, that's being said, they want you to find the x. But we know this angle must be 90 degrees. Makes sense? Because that's the angle in a semicircle. Then it's pretty straightforward. Sum of all the angle up to 180. To find the x from 180, I need to subtract 90. So here, this is 90. To find the angle x, I need to do the math. Are you just following that? Everyone following the property? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when it's come to circle, there's another interesting property. So look at this. We call this line connecting these 2 points AB by a name. Shreya, how do we call the line AB? What's the name for the line AB?
The hypotenuse.
That is called hypotenuse. That AB is called hypotenuse in a circle. Okay, let's see who really learned things in grade 8. Anyone can answer it. Anyone can answer. Anyone can answer it. Sharon,
I don't know.
what did you just learn in grade 8 math? Chilling teachers, this is called the code. All right. Any distance between any 2 points. If that AB passed through the center, we call this diameter. Okay. Now, the chord suspending an angle in the center, the chord making an angle in the center x. And the same chord making an angle on the circle is 60. There's a relationship. If the angle suspended by the chord in the center is always double the angle that's suspended on the circle. Do you guys see that relationship? X is equal to 2 times 60. So we know the relationship says this angle must be double of the x. So we can find the x easily, isn't it? Are you just following that, guys?
Yep.
Now let's go
Yes.
back here, suspend an angle. This is actually 90 degrees. So we know the relationship should be half, so it should be 45. Makes sense? Now it comes to another interesting property of a circle. The Ontario Math Standard. Our great any curriculum, our Ontario Math curriculum. It's going to be shameful. It's one of the lowest standard curriculum in the world. If you compare a student, what they're learning in Alberta, British Columbia, and then person who learning in this grade in US, to compare with somebody learning in grade 9 in Singapore or India or just in Sri Lanka, our curriculum is watered down. So the Ministry of Education try to improve it. These things has been removed long time ago. But now they're bringing back to these interesting geometry property. They're slightly introducing that. So in grade 9 math, if you completely learn a grade 9 math, you have a solid foundation for your grade 10. So let's going back to next property. So you see a chord. This chord is suspending 2 angles. One angle here on the circle, not on the center, another angle here, isn't it? We simply say these 2 angles must be equal. So let's go back here. If I draw my chord, this chord AB suspending an angle X and then also suspending another angle, X is 53. So now get back to some interesting property here. So let me draw the chord. So let me go back to this. This is the chord. So this is suspending an angle Y, isn't it? The same chord is suspending an angle Y here. We can guarantee that is Y. Are you just following that? Now, in grade 8, you have learned the opposite angles are equal. So that should be 92. Now, another interesting property, if I take the chord here, this chord CD, suspending the angle 50 and x. So I can simply say x must be 50. You see that? Does everyone see that picture?
Yes.
Now, when I know that, it's easy to find the y. Do you know why? Because all angle add up together, 180, isn't it? So x plus 92 plus y is 180, so we can easily find it. Last not least, well, there's a lot I am teaching it, so we need to do a lot of practice. It's called cyclic quadrilateral. What is cyclic quadrilaterals actually? You know what? I think that I should not keep on going without doing practice. So let's stop in here, do some practice with this. So I'm gonna be, yes, because that's a lot to remember. So I don't want that. Let's do some practice first. Yeah. I will give a copy for your homework right now. You can look at the question. All right, guys. So let's do some practice. Let's stop. So, all right. All right. So we're gonna going back to question number 5. Question number 5. Your task. First task. You're gonna find the angle A. You're all going to find the angle A. Do your math. Do your math to find the angle A. Hello? Oh, thank you. I'm just teaching. All right, thank you. All right, I'll see you on Sunday, sir. All right, bye-bye. All right, guys, so X, let's see who found the X. All right, sure, not Shreya, Akshara, how did you get for X? How did you get 26? What makes you to think 26? Okay, you make mistake here. So you don't need to be shy to answer it. So what makes you to get 26? What makes you to get 26? I know what makes you, because you're thinking it's an isosceles triangle, but it is not an isosceles triangle. There's no line mark, right? Okay. So who I'm gonna ask? Tawan, how much is X, sir? Tawan, how much is X? Are these guys who left my class? Okay, let me see. I have Tawan is here, Shreya is here, Shron is here, Nishal is here. All right, Tawan. How many of you guys go to Temple or Search? Temple or Search? No. Do you go to Temple? Okay. And then anyone go to Search? Sharon, you're Catholic, isn't it?
Yeah, I go to church.
And then Nichelle is also Catholic. Okay, somebody drop off. Nishal, what did you get for X, Nishal?
For X, I got 36.
All right, so Nishal got that right, 36. So why Nishal got that? X plus 26 degree plus 118 is 180, isn't it? Make sense? So we learn how to solve for equations, guys. So X plus 118 plus 6. So if you do 118 plus 6 is going to be, so you can do your calculator, do your math, 118 plus 26. That gives you 144 degree is equal to 180 degree. So X is solving for one variable equation, 180 degree minus 140 degree. Make sense? So how much you will get? 36, no, something like 144, my bad, 144. We will get 36 degree. Right? All right. So going back to Shreya. Shreya, what did you get for X on the next diagram? Shreya, what did you get for X on the next diagram?
I didn't do that yet.
All right. I just gotta wait for people to complete it. Who has done that? Let's go back to Tavan is not answering, and then Vishali online.
I'm still doing it.
Okay, I'm going to wait.
Do you want me to say my answer?
Yes.
I got 46.3.
You got 46.3. What did you get? Akshara. Huh?
26.
You got 26. 46.3 is correct. So let's see why. Do you guys see the two equal sign? That's saying it, they are two equal sides. That means the opposite sides, opposite angles are equal. If this is X, how big is this? That is also X. Now, what do we know about it? X plus 87.4 is how much? 180 degrees, isn't it? Are you following that? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? So 2x plus 87.4. So you guys see the whole idea why we learned solving equation. So now I don't have a space. I'm going to squeeze it here. 2x plus 87.4 minus 87.4 is equal to 180 minus 87.4. So therefore 2x is equal to 180 minus 87.4, 92.6. So what is x is? 92.6 divided by 2. So that's gave you 46.3. All right. All right. All right. Now we're going to go back to C. Sharon, what do you get for C, sir?
I got 120.
Can you explain your reasoning?
Oh, okay. So since since all the sides have one line, that means all the angles they're the same length. So that means all the angles are the
So we basically saying that this triangle has a special name. So can you tell me the special name for the triangle if all three sides are equal?
equilateral.
All right, sir. I'm asking here. So it's called equilateral, isn't it? In an equilateral triangle, each angle will be how much? Tawan. In an equilateral triangle, how much each angle will be? Tawan. Tawan. In an equilateral triangle, how much each angle will be? Well, I'm not sure how many of you understand the Tamil. When I was at school, I went to Catholic school. So I have a physical education teacher. So we have a large amount of Hindus and large amount of Catholic. So I think that Sharon, no, when you're a Catholic, I'm not sure that you probably tell that in English, but do you tell that in Tamil? Pita, Sudan, Parsutavi, and Perale. Did you do that?
Not really.
What did you say that? What is that called that? You just go to your forehead and then your two chests.
Oh.
What is that?
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the
Oh
Holy
yes. So, and then my teacher will be just ask questions and then waiting for a long time, and people doesn't respond. He just tell that and then say, "Please go save them." That is what I have to do. You guys need to be on online class. You guys need to be responding to me and say, "I don't know. I'm working on it." But if I didn't get the response, I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, Vishali, how big is each angle will be in this case? Nishal.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to solve this, but what I know is that it equals to 360, right? Because of the extended angle.
I know, lady. So each angle will be 60 degree because it's an equilateral triangle. So each angle is 60 degree, 60 degree, because all the angle will be equal. Now we know there's a little straight line sitting here, isn't it? Do you see that? How
Yeah.
much is a straight line, Akshara? How big is a straight line? 180. So if I know one of them 60, I will say $120. Are you following that? All right.
Yeah.
Now we talk about the circle. Nishal, can you tell me how big is axis?
I haven't done that one yet.
You don't need to do it. You can tell it's a mental math. Can you tell me how big is axis?
Like the type of angle it is.
No, how big is axis? Sharon, how big is axis, sir?
90.
We just learned it, lady. We just talked about that. A diameter will suspend a 90-degree angle in any point on the circle. So if I'm going to choose another point, if I'm going to be connected, we can guarantee and then say this must be 90-degree angle. We just talked about that. Are you guys taking notes on the other side, or just you're watching it like a movie? Rajinikanth's movie or whatever the movie you just wanted to call. What are you guys doing on the other side? Yeah, I think I need to put these guys in trouble. All right. I want to put you guys in trouble. You got 5 more minutes. I would like to see in the Google Classroom. Yes. Now I must think lesson notes. Take a picture of your notes and then you guys can upload your notes on there in 5 minutes. 5 minutes to take a picture of your notes that you're writing it on a notebook about the lesson and then upload the picture 5 minutes. Otherwise, I will just message your parents. It's pretty easy for me to just text everyone. You got 5 minutes.
Wait, Mr. Nandi.
Yes.
I don't have a phone and no one's here. So could I send it to you in like 10 minutes when my mom gets home?
All right, sir.
Do you want me to send it as a PDF or?
No, you can upload an image. You can upload an image.
Okay.
Yes.
Question, I kind of forgot what independent variable means.
All right. So I will talk about that independent variable. Just So independent variable is when you have an x and y axis, any variable that goes on the x-axis called independent variable, any variable go to the y-axis called dependent variable. Now, independent variable does not depend on something. For example, if I want to create a graph, number of pencils versus the price, number of pencils does not depend on anything, but the prices depends on number of pencils. Make sense? All right, guys. I need to move on. So let's going back to Vishali. How big is excess, Vishali?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, is it 60 or
It is not 60, lady. We
is it
talk about it.
180?
180?
120. Sorry.
120. Yes, we talk about it. X is going to be double the 60, isn't it? Make sense? Are you guys following that? All right. So now we're going to be moving back to something we already learned. So you should be able to answer this question. So let's have, I'm trying to do a lot of problem to make sure you understand this. All right. So let's going back here. Determine the value of x. They want you to find a side length, not the angle. They just want to find out the side length, not the angle. So let's going back to Tavan. How would you be able to find out the side length, Tavan? How would you be able to find a side length? Because we didn't really learn any formulas except Pythagorean theorem. How would you be able to find a side length? Tawan. Akshara. How would you be able to find a side length x? Shreya, what do you think?
You look at the opposite side length.
Opposite side length. Who actually said is isosceles triangle? No one said it. Because it is drawn like that, it does not mean it must be x, right? So I'm doing more problem for you guys to master it. So if you guys see here, this angle, we can calculate the angle. Can you just calculate the angle and let me know how much you guys get? Calculate the little angle and then tell me what do you guys get for that angle?
Hello?
Yeah. What do you get?
Is my audio working now?
Yes, sir. You finally fix it?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right. And then what do you get for that underlying angle? How big is that underlying angle, sir? All right. So who would like to answer from online? Shreya, how big is the mark angle? Shreya.
72.
72. What do you get? You got 108. How do you get 108? I add what? To find the angle? Why do you do that? Why did you do that to do that? Okay, guys. Don't we learn all three angles add up together how much? Huh? All three angles add up together how much? Huh? All three angles add up together, how much?
180.
180. Yes. So all three angles add together 180, right? Okay. So I don't know the angle, so we call it A. So I can say A plus 36 plus 72 is 180. We did this math here. And then A plus 108 degree is equal to 108 degree. A is equal to 108 degree minus 108 degree, which is actually 72 degree. Which is actually 72 degree. Now, what that tells us, don't you guys see that these two are 72? What do you know about, what that tells you? When you see those two are 72, what that tells you? It is an isosceles triangle because we see two angles are equal. Therefore, it's an isosceles triangle. We just learn it. If you have an isosceles triangle, the side opposite of the isosceles triangle must be equal. Therefore, x must be equal to 3 centimeters. Are you following that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're going back to the next question. We did this math before. So we did this math. Okay. I'm not sure who I'm going to ask. Vishali, are you online?
Yes.
How big is x?
X is it 40?
That's right. We talk about it because you got an arc. You got a common arc. This is the common arc AB. If you got a common arc AB, the angle suspended by the arc in anywhere on the circle, if that's 40, that's also going to be 40. So x is equal to 40 degree. Make sense? Are you just following that?
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Tawan, are your speaker working, man? Tawan, is your mic is working? Tawan, are you exist on the other side?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, sir. How big is x, sir? How big is the x?
X would be, wouldn't X be 40 since they're both equivalent?
Why they're equivalent?
You mean, do you mean the top?
I am asking the C.
Oh, for
How
C?
they are, yes, sir.
Oh, they would be equal.
The x is going to be how much?
X would also be 46.8
Why?
because they both have the sign at the side.
What sign?
I forgot the name.
Sir, if we have this sign, they're equal. Otherwise, they're not equal, sir. We don't have that sign. That dotted sign to mark an angle.
Oh, sorry.
Rhea, how would you find the x?
You look at the opposite angle.
Come on, guys. Come on. Don't you guys see there's a diameter? Don't you see this is diameter? Guys, don't you guys see there's a diameter? Huh?
Yeah.
What is the angle the diameter suspending on somewhere on the circle? How much is it? What? How much is the angle suspended by a diameter on the circle somewhere? A diameter will always make a 90-degree angle on the circle. Always make a 90-degree angle. This is 90 degree. Okay, can you just do me a favor? Can you just find the x? Do your math. I'll give you time. All right. What did you get? Sorry? 43.2. That's right. 43.2. Yes. X must be 43.2. That's correct. That's correct. Everyone seen that? X must be
Yeah.
40
Mhm.
because we know X plus 90 plus 46.8 is 180, isn't it? So X is equal to 180 minus 46.8 minus 90. And then how much you said? 40? Oh, correct. All right. There are some challenging questions out there. There are some interesting questions out there. So let's going back to ask the next question. Okay. So, oh yes, I need to move back. So before I move on, I need to move back to my lesson. So let's going back to the lesson now. So lesson. So there are a few things to talk about in the lesson, and we will revisit that question. All right, guys. So the lesson further about the circle. When you have a circle, you have four corners in the circle. 4 corners in the circle. We can create a quadrilateral. The cyclic quadrilateral property basically saying is, if you add the opposite angle, you always need to get 180. So if I want to find the x, I can subtract from 180. Make sense? So let's go back here. If I add 94 plus 5, I should get 180. So from 180, if I subtract 94, I got the y. From 180, if I subtract 102, I got x, isn't it? Are you seeing that? Same idea, you can 120. So x must be 60. You can see that. And then similarly, to find the y, we need to subtract 95. Everyone seen that property? Hello.
Yeah.
All right. Now, we can verify this property by drawing some diagram on a GeoGebra, on a graphical software. But now, the next one is going to be the tangent. When you draw a tangent, what is tangent is? From the center, if you draw a line to the circumference of the circle, so that means from the center, if you draw the radius to touch it, and if I draw another line that is also touching the circle, the angle formed by those two lines is always 90 degrees. So let's going back here. If you guys look at the picture, we know this is 90 degrees. And we know we get a triangle ABC. So if I add angle A plus 90 degrees plus x is equal to how much? 180 degrees, isn't it? So we can find the angle x. It's 67. As you see in the picture. Hello.
Yep.
Yep.
So that's being said. More questions related to that is coming up. All right. This is pretty easy. All right. So we know cyclic quadrilateral. So we learned the cyclic quadrilateral. So a little challenging here. Do you guys going to be find the hold on? Do I need to just give that? Oh yes. Do you guys going to find a value of x? I'm going to leave it for you. So you know, if you add all the angles in a triangle, you got 180 degrees. The opposite angles in a triangle, opposite angles add up together in a cyclic quadrilateral is 180, isn't it? Okay, I'm leaving for you guys to think. All right. Da, 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 da. Who has the answer for X?
Me.
I'm still figuring it out.
All right. Okay. Don't tell me the answer, Sharon. You have an answer? Right. Let me see an answer. Hold on. I'm gonna see. How did you find the answer? Let me see what you have. So you see X, that's 180, right? My question here is, think about this. You say this plus that, right? These two are outside of this triangle. How that possible? Right? So you have to think about that. So that's not quite working. Anyone else have an answer? Anyone else have an answer?
I have an answer.
All right, who is that, Shreya?
Yeah.
All right, so just give me a moment. I'm gonna see who can get the right answer. Shreya have an answer. Just give me a moment, Shreya. I just gonna do my math to make sure. Okay, Shreya, what did you get?
75 degrees.
Pretty good. You got it. All right. That is 75 right. So let's see how to do this. We know if I add this angle plus this angle, I should get 180, isn't it? But we don't know this angle. Let me call it A. But if you guys really look at it, I can find the angle A easily. Angle A, if I add A plus 41 plus 34, how much we got? 180, isn't it? So therefore, we can find out A is 180 minus 41 minus 34. So how much I will get? 180 minus 41 minus 34. So we got 105 degrees, isn't it? So we got an A is 105 degree. If A is 105 degree, we know 105 plus X must be 180, isn't it? Therefore, X must be 180 minus 105. So that's a little challenging question, but yes, you got it. So that's a little challenging question. All right. All right, guys. So there's a lot of things in here. So some challenging. All right. Okay, the answers are here. We did pretty good amount of questions. So I'm gonna give you both handout for this lessons with the circle in Google Classroom. So I do have a printout. I will give it to you when you're leaving it. So, so this is going to be November 6th lesson. I think I need to turn on the heat, so it's look like somebody stopped this. All right. So I'm gonna be at upload file. So recent, I do have the handout and this triangle and circle. Open. So you guys should be able to access those lessons. And then that should be my homework and lesson. So that's being done. We're not done yet. So there's a lot to work on that. So any question that I didn't do it, you guys gonna work on. Now comes send in the geometry. All right. Now comes in geometry, what we're gonna going back to. So we covered angle relationship. Oh, I think that I missed this lesson, angle relationships and polygons. So this is completely forget. I should have talked about that before I go here. That's okay. It's a grade 11 review. Grade 8 review. But let's do that. So I'm gonna be added here. October. I'm gonna be answer the questions. I'm gonna be finish it at 11:45, and then we're gonna go through the questions. So October, November 6th, listen, angle relationship. All right. This is something you guys have seen it repeating again. So let's going back here. When you have a polygon, we should be able to find the sum of the angles inside the polygon, which you have learned in grade 8. The formula to find the sum of the angles in a polygon is given by, if the number of sides is 5, you're going to simply subtract 2 from the end times it by 180. But let's explain why that's the case. So the way the formula has been developed, if you have a polygon, let's break the polygon into a triangle. Did you guys see that I can break that into 3 triangles? So if you see that any polygon can be break into the number of side minus 2 triangles, but every angle add up together in a triangle is equal to how much? 180, isn't it? So therefore, to find the total angles inside a polygon, we need to subtract 2 from the number of sides and multiply by 180. Are you seeing that? Hello, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, using that fact, we should be able to find out some unknown sides in the bigger polygon. So let's going back to the simple example on a polygon. You can see that here, it's different variables introduced, but we know how many sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. We already know that 5-sided polygons, sum of the angle in the 5-sided polygon is higher than 40 degrees, which we did it. Now we just put all the variables. So 9x, 71, 92. So we got 9x, 71, 92, 5x, 139. And then we solve for it. Did you guys see the importance of solving for unknown angles? Yes. So,
Yeah.
and then we just come again and again for equations. So another concept that you have learned called complementary angle. So what is complementary angle? If you had any 2 angles up to 90 degrees, then they call complementary. Similarly, supplementary angles, say any 2 angles add up together 180, called supplementary. Other concept called opposite angle. So if you can see here, the opposite angles are equal. If a line cross, we form several opposite angles, and opposite angles are equal. And just give me a moment. I'm going to print that for you. I completely forgot, so let me print this. Print. And then I will get the worksheet associated with this. So the other properties you have learned, the C pattern and F pattern. How many of you can recall the C pattern and F pattern, or C angle and F angle? Do you guys remember C angle and F angle?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So the C angle, F angle only works when 2 lines are parallel. You guys can see if 2 lines are parallel, we got a little shape. The angles on the corner of the C side are equal. We call this alternate angle. On the other hand, angle on the bottom of the leg of an F angle, or similar to this, if I say X, this is also X. And if I say Y, there's a top there. If I do D, I can say D. These are called corresponding. Did you guys see the shape F? So F has the leg, and the top of the leg, and the top of the leg are equal, bottom of the leg, top, bottom of the leg are equal. The other one called co-interior angle. So if 2 lines are parallel, very important, the co-interior angle is the angle formed into that gap. They add up together 180. So let's going back to some example here. They want you to find that the angle X. So we see a pattern. What pattern I see? Oh yeah, I see a Z pattern. when I see the C pattern, we know this must be 180. Now I see an F pattern. So if you can see that in the bottom of the F, you got 40. So bottom of the F, you got X. And then this is a co-interior angle. 65 plus X is 180. So you can find the X by 180 minus 65. Make sense? All right. Now, little interesting question. We want to find the X. We know this add up together, 180. So we can simply subtract from 180 to find the X. Now, when we know this is the X, you guys can see this is the bottom of F, isn't it? In the bottom of F, you got an X. So X is 125. Because the bottom of the F, the angle X must be equal to angle C, must be 125. But you know, when you know this 125, this is a supplementary angle. You can find a Y, subtracting from 180. Last not least, pretty straightforward, little interesting question. When this is 30, we know this is 30. Opposite angles, isn't it? So how do I find a Y? The whole angle is 90 degrees. So from 90, if I subtract 30, I got that little angle. So from grade 8, it's just repeating again. So in grade 8, you should have learned the relationship for the parallel lines. Now let me going back to doing some practice with this geometry. Oh yeah, I didn't open my angle relationship. All right, so angle relationship, we're gonna going back to some practice. If you understand the formula, you guys going to do C, n minus 2 times 180 degrees. So you guys going to do C and D. Find the sum of the interior angle and the polygon. N is the number of sides of the triangle. All right, so let's see who know the answer for the first one. Come on, your turn, man. What did you get for that? Tawan. Tawan. What did you get?
I don't know the answer.
Why not, sir? Why that difficult? What do you think is difficult here?
Because it says state the sum of the interior angles. So
Yeah.
we wouldn't, so like the angles would be
Angle
at the
inside, angle inside, right? Didn't I teach
Yeah.
you just a few minutes before?
Yeah.
Can you tell me the answer then? What did you get, lady? 1080. Because n minus 2 times 180, there are 8 sides. So it's going to be 8 minus 2 times 180. So that is going to be 6 times 180. That is going to be 1080 degrees. Yes? All right. Shreya, what do you get for the next one?
720.
Yeah. So 6 minus 2 times 180. So which is going to be 4 times 180. 11,720. All right. So that's being said, when you have all sides are equal in a polygon, and every angle you see will be x equal. So we call it a regular polygon. So in a regular polygon, all the sides are equal. This one is irregular polygon. Irregular polygon. This is regular polygon. So why do we call regular polygon? All the sides are equal. Make sense? All right. So can you guys do C, please? Let's see, how would you find every angle x? You know how to find the x. You know how to find the total angles, right? You know the number of sides, and if you divide the total angle by number of sides, you will get the x. Can you guys do the math? All right. So who has the answer for that? Vishali, what did you get?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
I got 120.
All right. So let's see if she's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sided, isn't it? So the total angle is going to be 6 minus 2 times 180, isn't it? But how many sides are in total? 6. So we will divide it by 6. So 4 times 180 divided by 6. So that is going to be, there are 6 sides, 6 minus 1 turn. So 4 times 180, 30. So that should be 120 degrees. So you got it right. You get the same answer. Pretty good. All right. First of all, I need to upload this worksheet for you guys online. Well, I'm not sure any one of you have learned this one at school. Anyone have learned this content already at school, whoever taking math? Hello? How about Nishal? Nishal, you were telling me that you have been learning about geometry. Did you learn this?
Yeah.
You learned it. Okay, pretty good. So we're gonna moving back to that interesting question. So if you have learned it, so it should be pretty straightforward. Number 7. So how big is the angle C is going to be, Nishal? You learned it at school, right? Hi, Nishal. Okay, Nishal is quiet. All right, so let's moving back to Taban. How would you find the answer, Caesar?
Would 63 be like would you use 63 to get, you would use that to get C and then A and B, then would you add
I
it
know,
up?
but how would you get C from 63? What would you do?
Mm,
Shreya,
Oh no.
guys, isn't it a straight line? Don't you guys see a straight line there? Don't you guys see a straight line here?
Yep.
How big is a straight line? How big is the angle straight line?
180.
180. So to find a C, 180 minus 63, isn't it? That is going to be 170 degrees, isn't it? Make sense? Are you following that?
Yep.
Now B is going to be 63 degree opposite angle, A is going to be 170 degree opposite angle, and then E is going to be 63 degree because F angle, and then G is going to be 170 degree because F angle, D is going to be 170 degree because opposite angle, F is going to be 63 degree. I will put this as level 1 question. On my test, I will give this level 1 question. It's pretty straightforward logic. To just know one answer, one angle, you can able to find the other one when two lines are parallel. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go at this point here. So I'm gonna help some of my in-person guys something on the linear relations, which we're gonna learn later, but they're learning at school. So your homework is 2 set of questions. Do you know what is the 2 set of questions for your homework, isn't it? One with the circles and triangle, the other one with angles on parallel lines. Any questions?
No.
You guys are dismissed for now. Enjoy the rest of the evening. We will see you next Wednesday.
Bye.